TD,
okay,
my bad, brother.
Oh, my bad,
Terrence, what's up, Terrence?
Sensational.
My bad, brother. I'm so used to seeing TC. I assume that's what it said. I can't read.
I'm not the ball player now. Don't confuse me, man.
I got you.
I'm just a listener. I enjoy listening to you guys. Thanks for having me on your show.
Oh, man, we appreciate you, man.
Just a couple observations. I saw the headline on the YouTube thing, so I love Harrison Barnes. He's a great community guy and all the above. A terrific ball player, but I followed that with a but. It seemed to me like in watching this great season that they had, it seemed like the playoffs neutralized his game. I say that because during the regular season, the referees were calling all that contact, which is what seemed to be the key to his game, was the contact that he was part of, as he makes his drives to the basket, and the referees would make that call for him. But in the playoffs, the referees were not making that call for him. They were not giving him. And then the other challenge to his game is that if you're going to do the contact, you got to get the and one. Mm-hmm. And so his game was getting neutralized because the referees were not calling the fouls that he's accustomed to getting called. And then he wasn't hitting that basket through the contact.
So let me ask you a quick question, TD. You're not in on this idea of HP coming back?
For when it comes to the playoffs, I have to say no, because he showed us what playoff. If the referees are going to not make the call for you in the playoffs, and you're looking for the call, so you, for that split second, you stop playing because the referees didn't make that call that they normally would make.
Okay. Can I can tell you definitively, I did not notice this before. This is the first time I'm like putting these numbers together. I just have not paid attention to this at all. Do you know how many rebounds Harrison had in that series?
In the series, like total rebounds or average?
No, the series.
15.
He had 11.
He
had 11 rebounds. He had 11 rebounds and 2 assists in 5 games.
The sneaky thing about Harrison in these playoffs is in games 5, 6, and 7, Mike Brown essentially was like, I can't go with this guy. Like, I'll see what he has, but yeah, I got to get Monk in here. I got to get TD in here. I got to get some other guys in here. He played in
15 minutes in game 7, 15 in game 6.
Game 5, he played a lot. Game 5, he played 33. Game 6, when the season was on the line, 15 minutes. Once again, in game 7, season on the line, 14 minutes. So this goes kind of into how I look at Harrison Barnes coming back for the Kings. I believe that Harrison Barnes, especially when you talk about the regular season, is just fine. He's just fine, right? Like, him coming back, I expect 48 wins.
My bad. Game 1. Hold on. I was off on something. Game 1 was blocked out. He rebounded well in games 1 and 2.
7 and 6.
Yeah, he rebounded well in games 1 and 2, and then it was the last 5 games of the series that he couldn't rebound.
He played well in games 1 or 2, and then that was it. He didn't.
So what's that say then? What's that say?
I'll tell you what this says. In the regular season, he's going to be fine. He's going to do what he does. The playoffs are a crapshoot, and this is what it means for the Sacramento Kings if Harrison Barnes is there. Everybody else has to improve. Domas has to, when you talked about like getting a little bit better, Domas probably got to be 20 and 13 or 20 and 12 and a half again. De'Aaron Fox probably has to be closer to 26, 27 points per game. Kevin Huerter's got to be better. Keegan Murray has to make a jump in his second year. He's got to go from 12 points to maybe 14, 15. Because Harrison, for better or for worse, I don't expect him to step his game up. He's going to be who he is. 15 points, 4 rebounds, 2 or 3 assists. He's going to give you that. It's not the worst thing in the world. I'm not saying it as if it is.
Mm-hmm.
But the other guys that we had talked about coming in here, I thought they would elevate that position on both sides of the ball. And that would allow maybe Fox to average 25 and it'd be okay. Or Herter to, like, it would either let these guys improve at their own pace, or if they didn't improve at all, you had somebody picking up the slack. I don't think Harrison is going to do that. So that is going to leave these other guys. They're going to have to step their game up if they want to reach another level next season with this team.
Are we overreacting in evaluating this playoff series? Again, 13-7, 13-6 in games 1 and 2, which they won by 3, they won by 8. He has 17 and just 1 rebound in a game that they lose by 17. Of course, there's the game 4 where the Kings lose by 1. He plays 30 minutes in that one. He's 3 of 11. He's 1 of 6 from 3. None of that would have mattered if he was 2 of 6 from 3. They lose game 5 by 7. They win by 19. Doesn't play a lot in that one. Lose by 20. Doesn't play a lot in that one.
I mean,
I don't know.
His numbers were anemic in the postseason, just for that series. For what you need, 10.7 points, 3.4 rebounds, 0.7 assists. Shot 41% from the field, 24% from beyond the arc. I mean, that's not going to get it done. If that's what you're getting in the playoffs, you're going to need a lot of people to step up, and they didn't, right? So, like, even with all that being said, this is why I'm not like, oh, it's a death blow if he's there. Harrison Barnes did not play well whatsoever in the playoffs, and if Kevin Huerter does what he does in a regular season,
Mm-hmm.
they probably win that series. If Sabonis plays just a little bit better, they probably win that series. So it's not a death blow, but Harrison Barnes doesn't allow for those type of series from Huerter or Sabonis. He's not going to pick up the slack. He's not going to cover these guys when they're struggling. And I'm not trying to say that to disparage him. I'm just saying he's going to give you what he gives you. In this series, it was actually below that, but I'll even look at that as an anomaly. He's going to give you 14 to 15 points a night, 4 rebounds, 2 assists.
Okay. With the exception of Atlanta and Philadelphia, in 2021, Kevin Huerter's playoff series looked kind of like last year's.
Yeah, but how many playoff series is it?
With last year,
3.
He's played a total of,
well, not series. I'm sorry, playoff seasons, right? Like, so he's
played a total of
3
5
times.
series. He's been to the playoffs 3 times.
Yeah, he's 24 years old.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I heard other people talking about that as well, and I'm not ready to put that on Kevin Huerter.
I'm not putting anything on him.
No, I'm not saying you
are.
are.
I'm just saying, like, if
general.
we're going to be critical of who played poorly in the postseason last year, let's not just hang this all on Harrison Barnes.
Absolutely not. Kevin Huerter.
Let's look at what
atrocious.
Kevin Huerter did, and let's look at what Kevin Huerter has done in his career. And like, if we're so certain Kevin Huerter is going to be better next year, well, maybe it's a bit unfair.
We're not certain he's going to be better.
Okay,
but I think there's a possibility for him to get better.
And there's no possibility Harrison Barnes is better next year.
What shows you he would be better?
I don't know. I'm just.
He's
asking.
going to be like it's been who he's been his entire career, pretty much, in these roles. Like and it's not even bad. I'm not even saying it like it's a bad thing.
Warriors Clippers in 14 was a little rocky. Well, the finals. 15 wasn't the best.
And I'm not even looking just like at play. I'm just talking about even regular season. It's gonna be 15 points a game, 4 rebounds.
But I thought we established the regular season isn't the issue with Harrison.
I mean, I don't. It's in the regular season. If you want to improve where you were at, you're gonna need those other guys to step up. That's all. That's where that comes from. Playoffs, you hope that he's better than 10 points per game and 3 rebounds that he was in this series. You hope that he's better. I'll put it. All I'm saying is, I wouldn't put any stock in Harrison Barnes raising his game. That's not where I'm going to put my hopes and dreams at. He's gonna be solid to a no-show.
Mm. Mm.
More
Well,
times than not, he's going to be solid. More times, like that's the way. More times than not, he's going to be solid. There's a possibility that he's a no-show. I'd be surprised. Like I'm surprised when he goes for like 25, because that's just not really in his game.
his first time in the playoffs, he was really good. In 2013, he was really good. But I guess that doesn't mean anything. Let's get Ryan in here. 916-909-1320. Listening to D-Lo and KC on KIFM West Sacramento, 98.5 FM, KRXQ HD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Ryan, what's happening, man?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
We're good, man. How you doing?
Pretty good. So I think for this Harrison Barnes talk, I think they definitely need an upgrade with him. But with last year, like in fairness to Harrison Barnes, if he hit that one shot, it was either game 3 or game 4, I felt like that would have changed the whole narrative surrounding him. But I do agree that long term they do need something better. But what about Sasha? Like, is Sasha coming over? Because it feels like Harrison would do better to come off the bench and kind of be the leadership. I get worried about blowing up chemistry with too many changes.
I feel you. I would get the notion that Harrison's coming off the bench out of everybody's head.
I'd also chill with Sasha a little bit.
Yeah, like, I'm not depending on Sasha right now.
To answer Ryan's question, we don't know if Sasha's coming over. We think he is. There seems to be like some really strong indicators that he is. Don't do this though.
No.
Like don't put him. If he comes over and he winds up being the dude, fantastic.
Right.
Don't go in there with the expectations of what you watched on livestream.euroball. It's like that's what he's going to be in the NBA. It'd be dope if he is.
Right.
But let's chill our expectations.
I got pretty much no expectations for Sasha. Sasha's coming over here. And not saying that like he's not good. I'm just saying like I'm not putting any expectations on him. We'll see what happens when he gets here. I got to see his game in an NBA settings. I love his shot. I think he's a high IQ guy. And the proof is in the pudding with all of his accomplishments in EuroLeague. But I got to see what he looks like in the NBA. So I'm want him over here. I'd be glad to see him with the Kings, but I'm not putting any expectations on Sasha. Everything that we hear, he's coming in to be a backup. And I mean, that says a lot right there. That he's coming in to be a backup. Like I'm not saying he's him, or maybe it's an unfair comparison. They didn't come in saying Luka was going to be a backup. You know what I mean?
That is
like
correct. That's not fair.
They didn't come in saying any of those guys are backup. So no, he's coming in to be a backup. I'm going to give him backup expectations, until he shows otherwise. But HB, I mean, we even brought up Kevin Huerter. Aside from 1.6 points, all his numbers in the playoffs were better than Harrison. He had more rebounds, more assists, more blocks per game. Harrison, the crux of the argument of what I'm saying with Harrison is, I'm not going to look at Harrison and be like, he's going to elevate this team. These other guys are going to have to elevate their game. Whereas if Jeremy Grant, Kyle Kuzma, even OG came in, I could say, you know what? Fox can average 25 because OG's going to improve us here and he's going to step up. Domas could even maybe go 18-12 instead of 19-12 because OG is going to help. Keegan doesn't have to go from 12 to 16. He can go 12 to 14, and it'd be good because OG's here, Kyle's here. That's not how I feel with Harrison. Harrison's going to be who he is. These other guys have to step up their game if they're going to exceed what they did last year.
Let's get Big Al in here, 916-909-1320. What's going on, Big Al?
This is a King station, so I just wanted to reiterate and say, Casey, you're right on. If I was a Kings fan, I think you just say, thank you, Harrison, for whatever you did in this contract stuff. But, we'll get off of you.
Well, hold on. That's not what
that's
KC
not what I
said.
said.
Don't do that. Don't
See?
do that. That's not what Kenny said.
That's not what I
do
said.
that.
I said I'm perfectly fine with him coming back. I have no problem with Harrison Barnes coming back. I'm just saying, if I'm looking at the roster, I think for these guys to take it to another level, these other guys are going to have to step up their game because I'm not expecting Harrison to do more than what he did last year. That's all I'm saying about Harrison.
I'm sorry. Now I'm going to insult you. That's just a weak way of saying I wish I could get off this guy and find somebody to be more productive for that money. For that money. It's all about the damn money, Casey, and you know that. Let's disagree. Let's agree to disagree.
No, I was just gonna say, Big Al, that's not. I don't think that's what that's saying because, yeah, I'm looking for other guys that I can get, but if I can't get them, then I can't get them. And I come back with Harrison Barnes. The season's not over. It didn't take a step backwards. I'm not even saying that they're going to be even to where they were last year. I'm saying if they want to improve, it's going to be on the other guys on this team to step up their game because I don't think you're getting elevation from Harrison Barnes' game. He's going to be what he's been, which I'll continue to say isn't a bad thing. He's fine. He's solid. He's reliable. You can set your clock to what he's going to do. But if you want to improve, I thought these other guys that were on the table, they would be guys that will come in and help you improve. I don't know if Harrison does that. That puts the onus on these other guys to step up their game if you want to elevate where you were last season.
Let's run through some of these names here real quick. I'm of the belief OG Anunoby improves the Sacramento Kings. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm of the belief OG Anunoby would have improved the Sacramento Kings. There would have been no chemistry loss, no chemistry flows. Not saying Harrison wouldn't have been missed. Not saying he didn't have a locker room presence. Not saying he didn't have a calming presence. But I think there was a lot OG Anunoby could have done, especially on the defensive end, to help this team. I don't believe that's realistic anymore. Let's go to Kyle Kuzma.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Kuzma. Any concerns with if Kyle Kuzma was the guy?
Mm-hmm.
No chemistry concerns there. No concerns about stability. No concerns about would someone else have to take the role of the calming influence? Would that have to be Domas or De'Aaron? Would someone else have to be Mr. 82 game consistency, like that type of level of consistency?
No concern. And I'll tell you real quick. I'll tell you why. Because now that's Domas and De'Aaron's time.
Okay,
like it's not Harrison. That's fine. That's done. That's when you have the babies and the kids in the locker room. These are grown men now. These are leaders. These are all-stars. It's their franchise. That's who the calming influence is. That's the leader of the locker room. It's not Harrison Barnes anymore. So I don't worry about that. And I don't worry about Cuz if he were to come. Kuz.